Why run up on me if you ain't tryna fight?
Why?
Call me Kenny Fury cause I'm knocking out your lights. What's poppin' with the population? I'm Kenny Morningstar and welcome to my channel. It's Halloween season and I always knew that there's scary shit out there in the world, from ghouls to demons to black people. And I have to say, bro, all of that stuff is scary, but today I want to talk about one of the scariest things that I've ever come across of. An epidemic that's been plaguing the streets of the United States. Opioids. With it being October, this is the scariest shit you can even come across. Opioids are a class of drugs that are normally used to reduce pain. As for most drugs, a lot of users take these drugs for their euphoric effects, pain relief, and use it as a way to cope with life and all its fucked up tendencies. Since the 80s, crack and heroin ran rampant in the streets and drug overdose became a common occurrence. Hey, ask your parents about it, cause some of them might be crack babies. In the year of 2025, crack, meth, fentanyl have become the guiding force for drug overdose. And as of October of this year, data from the CDC projects over 70,000 drug overdoses. As of October 2025, this month, this year, the CDC projects over 70,000 drug overdose deaths in the US since last April. God damn. What's even crazier is that this is a 24% decline of overdoses from August of 2023, which is even fucking wilder to think, y'all. Less people are dying even though there's over 70,000 drug overdose deaths. This is crazy. Y'all niggas doing a lot of fucking drugs. Despite this downward trend that we're seeing since 2023, the CDC data that was released earlier this year back in January showed that there was a slight rise in fatal overdoses during the period of last year, April, up until January of this year. Overdose deaths were up about 1,400 compared to the same period the previous year, suggesting a potential leveling off of the decline, which sounds good, right? But what's worse is that many people are either tricked into taking opioids, don't know the full effects of the opioid that they're taking, or got hooked on them due to them being prescribed for an injury or surgery. I was on TikTok, and apparently there's creators and communities on TikTok that talk about how they ended up getting addicted to opioids. So right here we see a video of a creator who went to go get their refill of a prescription medicine that helps with their withdrawals, and this is what we end up getting.
No, if your script runs out, we can't dose you.
No, but it runs out today, so I get dosed today, right?
Oh, because
It's not booked for a week. I'll figure something out, yeah. That's cool.
like tailor down. You have this. And
sadly, this is nothing new. And I often feel the same way when I go to the dispo and they run out of the strain that I like on phone. On top of that, Shorty says she was gonna figure it out, and 9 times out of 10, these niggas are just gonna get more drugs. The shit that they running out of that I'm using as a withdrawal medicine, you don't think I'ma just go and get my fix immediately? And I'm not saying that as a means to be rude or mean, but the reality is, if I'm coming to you to get withdrawal medicine for a hardcore drug that I've been doing, and I can't get the withdrawal medicine, then nigga, I'm going back to doing the drugs. With all of this can lead to a relapse, and at worst, overdose. Here we have a video of a nightclub worker that talks about how she got pretty much put onto meth.
Working the nightclubs and everything, like I got into coke, and like meth was just usually cut with meth and everything. So
Well, the coke was cut with meth?
yeah, it's
What the
Southwest
hell?
Florida.
What happened in your life that you decided this isn't working?
Right here is just an example of how easy it is for it to happen. A lot of these drugs are either cut or laced with meth. if I'm being honest. That Molly, that ecstasy, all of that powder y'all doing, more than likely got a little fent or a little meth in there. What's even crazier is the casual nature of taking these drugs and how often you can find these drugs in clubs, bars, and places just like it. Back in high school, when I was taking like my health classes, my teacher would tell us like club drugs are bad drugs because you don't know what's in them. And apparently y'all niggas was not paying attention in class. Right here, we have a TikToker that talks about how he started getting into meth and how easy it was being tricked into doing it.
Hey guys, how are you all? I am back, and today we're going to talk about how and why many people try meth for the first time. My own time, first of all, there are two types that try meth. There are the ones who try it intentionally, which is a very small percentage, and the ones that try it unintentionally, which is a much larger percentage. I was one of those sickos who tried it intentionally. It was just in a very self-destructive time in my life. I had just come off OxyContin for 4 years. I was sober. I didn't want to be sober. I wasn't interested in it. I hated myself. I was disconnected from myself. I was afraid of myself. I was afraid to be left alone without any drugs in my system. So I tried it for the first time intentionally with my friends. And look, it gave me what meth usually gives people, which is like incredible clarity. It's incredibly powerful. It's an incredibly powerful drug, and that's why people are drawn to it. It's not about using meth for the first time and then you end up next day in the gutter scratching scabs. That's not how it works, right? The reason people get hooked is because it's incredibly powerful. It's such a powerful dopamine hit. Now, I want to talk about my clients though, because a lot of them ended up trying meth accidentally for the first time. Most of the people I coach are gay, queer men. And so most of them encounter it in a sex setting, in a hookup setting. Someone will offer them something, either not tell them what it is, which is just so grotesque, or lie to them about what it was, or actually intentionally have them try it without telling them. Look, I have people now like hitting me up after 4 years of them. They tried it once accidentally, and here they are now so stuck that they feel like they need to reach out and get help.
It's so scary to know that there's people intentionally lying about what drugs that they're giving to you, especially when they come up and offer it to you. You didn't even ask about it. This brings me to my next point. Don't fucking take substances that you do not know what the fuck it is. Also, don't take other people's drugs, especially if you don't know who they are. The comments on these videos are super interesting. We got a whole bunch of different ones. And sadly, I'm stuck in between feeling bad for them, but also thinking these niggas are idiots for either seeking these drugs or being super naive about them. Me personally, I don't think you should be looking for or taking drugs that have done massive amounts of damage to minority communities. And it might sound crazy coming from me because I'm a weed smoker, and over the past like 60 freaking years, if you had a little weed on you, you getting sent to federal prison for felony time, bro. Like, and I'm a casual enjoyer of weed. If I'm being real though, that loud is where it's at. I'd rather smoke the weed than meth. Here's another creator talking about a similar experience they had with meth.
I'm detoxing from crystal meth again because I forgot how bad it was, and I decided that it might be a good idea to try it again, and it turns out that it wasn't really worth it. So just take it from me on this side of things. If you're thinking of getting drunk or high again, it is not worth it. It is so much easier to just not do it than it is to pick up the pieces of your life after you've done it.
What's so interesting about a lot of these stories when it comes to meth and heroin is that they involve gay men, specifically gay white men, to some capacity. I don't think it's cause only gay white men take these drugs, but instead I feel like they're put in a position where these drugs are easily accessible. Think about it. A lot of gay men, they get preyed on by other gay men. You got nightclubs, strip clubs, gay bars, etc. And sometimes you can see these guys attempt to take advantage of other men, which is wild. I think what makes this even easier to happen is a mixture of like peer pressure and also wanting to believe that you can trust another man and that man won't take advantage of you. which is honestly the plight of every woman in the shit that they go through. I don't have much experience with doing hard drugs or doing gay guys or doing hard drugs with gay guys, but I could totally be wrong about all of this. Personally, I tend to stick with dispensary weed because it's the most reliable to me, if I'm being honest. What especially keeps me away from meth, crack, and fentanyl is the infamous fent lean.
How do you think I feel? How do you think I feel?
Apparently, there's a medical term called the fent fold. Those who don't know, the fent lean is caused by fentanyl impacting the central nervous system of the user. Fentanyl gives a sedative effect, resulting in a loss of motor functions, including your posture. So when you see them go like, and nodding off, that's the fent and its euphoric effects. Now, nodding off is an effect that all opioids have, but fentanyl, my boy, that's when you see people bent over at the waist. It's sad, man. Like you see them just hanging over there. It look like they upper body just decided to hang out and they lower body decide to post up. With the fent lean, it's gotten to the point where niggas on TikToks are doing a fent lean challenge.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
Y'all don't take anything seriously, bro. And there's so many types of these videos out there online and on TikTok. And to be honest, I find them so funny. But there's something so dark and unempathetic about them that it makes you really wonder and question whether this shit is just a joke or a social commentary on how we treat those with drug abuse problems. I've seen people joke about, stoners being high or alcoholics getting too fucked up and they lose their motor skills. But that's something that we all can socially agree on is acceptable when you're under the influence of those specific substances. But when it comes to something along the lines of opioids, it's more of a joke. It's more that we look down on those who suffer from addiction to those drugs, bro. We can make fun of them more easily because of how detached we are from the action that's leading them to fent lean or to be on the streets knocked the fuck out. I have no clue what I would do if I saw someone hitting a pipe by me, if I'm being honest. Actually, this may sound fucked up a little bit, but I've definitely walked past somebody hitting a crack pipe on the train platform of the Red Line. Facts. This is facts. I'm here in Chicago. We've all walked past somebody hitting the crack smoke. What bothers me most is, why are you doing it so publicly where you can be infecting someone with the secondhand crack smoke? That's terrible, and that's dangerous. Imagine this. You getting your hair cut, you trying to look fly, you might have a date, you might just be going out on the town, and all of a sudden, your barber takes a break. And you think, oh, he about to step back, take a look at the line and look at the work, look at the line work. And then all of a sudden, you see a puff of crack smoke and crack vapors fly past your face. Would you let this nigga keep cutting your hair? This shit is not natural, bro, at all. Also, stand up for yourself, man. Why would he keep letting this nigga cut his hair? Why would he let him do this to him? I don't understand. And I know it might be a difference in culture because both of them seem like Asian or like, South American hybrid something. Bro, crack smoke smells the exact same in every language. I'm not gonna lie. Now, here's the video that started this whole thing for me. This is the video that had me concerned about the opioid epidemic here in the United States. I was on Reddit in this group called Drug Circle Jerks, and bruh, I saw some heinous ass shit. There's this obese woman smoking crack rocks out of a modified Dragon Ball. This is crazy. This shit fried my brain, man. People get online and do crazy things every day. But bruh. I don't think I've ever seen anybody smoke crack so smoothly and casually before. I know people who can't even hit weed out of a bong without coughing up a lung. I know people who can't even hit a bong with weed in it without coughing up a lung. Let alone taking multiple hits of crack straight to the face. This is absurd. I'm not sure how much of the video that I'll be able to show, but I'ma definitely try to show a lot of it. There's even a guy right behind her standing there in the corner waiting his turn so patiently. This is weird. You can't make shit like this up, bro. I even saw a video of a lady smoking rocks on the bus.
Some sis dad wanna light the demo up on the bus. Only in NYC.
It's no care in this world, bro. And a lot of people are just waiting for that next hit. We're at the point in the video where I do need to say a few different things. One, just because you do hard drugs, it doesn't make you a monster. If anything, it makes you a victim of circumstance. Two, not all hard drug users are bad people, bro. And sometimes it becomes hard to control or suppress urges to do these drugs due to just straight up addiction, man. Three, me nor anybody else should really judge these people because this truly could happen to any and all of us. If not, it is already happening. And four, often these drugs are used as coping mechanisms to distract ourselves from what our reality truly is. In reality, opioids are easier, cheaper, and more accessible than therapy. Opioids are more accessible than help. Opioids help get through the day, but sadly, they don't help get through life. What's mad interesting though is all the parallels that I see when it comes to smoking weed. As an avid weed smoker, I would definitely say I've had days where I'm high the whole day to try and escape a responsibility or just something that I'm genuinely just going through. I've seen multiple people crash out over weed. I've seen people smoke weed on the bus, on trains, and honestly, I've seen people coerce other people into doing weed shit when they ask to not do it or when they say they're completely sober, man. The reality is there are so many substances that are addictive, and what makes it worse is that our schools, our parents, and our society never teaches us how to control these vices. When I think of crack, it makes me think of druggies, homeless niggas in the streets. When whole time you got mayors who are functional crackheads like Rob Ford, R.I.P. We assume that drug use of any kind is bad unless it's prescribed to you, or if you have a medical cannabis license / one of those medical cannabis cards. Anything that you do without thought or regulation are bound to leave you in the dumps, especially if there's nowhere for you to go. A lot of these victims oftentimes don't have a support system at all, or they have experienced a deep trauma that can only be repressed with drug use. That sound like me, nigga. That might sound like you. If this is you, just know that there's always a way out, man. It's hard getting off that shit, and it's easy as hell to get on it. Say no to drugs, because drugs are bad, okay? If you or someone you know is having problems with opioids, then nigga, get your head and mind right, because there are even more addictive things out there to fight once you get off that shit. Please like, comment, subscribe if you learned something from the video. Also, feel free to share your experience of opioids or just bad drug experience down below in the comments. I make these videos because I enjoy them, but also because I'm an artist and I make music. Bump my shit. Links are down below. And follow me on Instagram and SoundCloud if you want to keep up with me. I'm Captain K. I'll catch you in the next one. Pressure on my shoulders, oh my God.